As Uganda's campaign season progresses, the national flag has become a common sight at political rallies across the country. The black, yellow and red colors are often raised high above crowds, especially at the NUP rallies. The national flag has been used before. What appears different this time is the increased use of the national flag compared to the previous political seasons. Today, police commented on the concerns surrounding the use and possible misuse of the national flag.
There is a law. Let people just know the following, that there is a law which guides the use of the national flag and other armorial ensigns. And that is the National Flag and Armorial Ensigns Act. It tells you who allows you the permission to, who authorizes you to use that flag. So people should just know that there is a law and there are do's and don'ts.
Without detailing all the specific restrictions, Rusoke referred to the law that regulates the use of the national flag.
Somebody will ask, why have you not taken action against them? I've said it much earlier. I've said that sometimes it is not about just arresting and getting the other one simply on the account of contravention. It is our appeal that people know this. It is our appeal that people follow and respect these national symbols. It has been commonly used in this current political environment. The excitement. So I would like to communicate that I think that is the reason why we are to a large extent constrained and reserved into enforcement.
He noted that some practices are inappropriate, citing where people have tied the national flag to electric poles. So let's look at the interpretation of the law. What does the National Flag and Armorial Ensigns Act state, Council Abubakar?
The law, when you look at this law, you have to read it in the entire spectrum of laws. And currently, of course, the Constitution is the grand norm. It is the supreme law of the land. So you cannot read that law in isolation. You have to start from the Constitution, which gives the citizens the right to use the national flag, to respect it, to dignify it. So you cannot read that law in isolation. So the law, as it stands, it permits the use of the national flag.
Yes. There's been a debate currently that has come up, misuse of the national flag, yes. How we're supposed to use the national flag. At what point is the line, do we draw the line and say this is the misuse of the national flag or this is not the misuse? Because initially taxi drivers especially have had the national flags in their taxis. There have been wrappers designed, yes, in the national colors of the flag with, yes, actually a crested crane, yes, on those wrappers. So at what point do we draw the line and say this is a misuse and this is not misuse?
You see, that very law that you have just cited, it gives a very clear description of what amounts to misuse. It says that you should not use it in a manner that shows contempt and ridicule to the national flag. So for whoever is using that flag, are they intending to hold the national flag in contempt? Does mere holding it and run around with it amount to contempt? Does it amount to contempt for me to, have it have it as a lapel, because that's all a national flag. So we just have to go back to the definition of what amounts to contempt. At contempt, it is holding something in, I should say, in a manner that to any right-thinking member of the society, it is defamatory. It is intending to show a bad picture about something. So does it amount to contempt or ridicule if I hold a national flag and I go to a rally?
You talk about rallies and the national flags have been in the recent past and currently during this political season, they have been used. What you've been observing, what has been happening during this campaign season, would you say it's misuse of the flag?
Certainly, no, it is not misuse. Because this is a national activity. Campaigns are running all over the country. These are presidential elections, you're talking about parliamentary elections, you're talking about national activities, civic duties. Actually, that is when you are supposed, as a minister or as any person in government, you're supposed to now educate people about the national flag. We're just losing focus on what we should be talking about, on what we should be discussing. Because even the law that they are citing, it is alien to the ears of the people of Uganda, to the citizens. It is just this time that you're supposed to sensitize the people, but not to restrict the use of the national flag.
So for the citizen out there,
Yes.
what are the do's and don'ts if using the national flag? What should I bear in mind?
Okay, what you should bear in mind, maybe for me, I look at it that you shouldn't ban a national flag. You shouldn't get it and maybe you tear it apart. You know, that's what I'm looking at. And not to, to have it at your home, to have it in your office, at your desk. To have it as a backdrop to our conversation here. It is not a crime. Yes, it is allowed for you to carry a national flag to a national event, to even a private event. So long as you are respecting it, you should just keep that at the back of your mind. That am I respecting the national flag?
What about the penalties? If maybe I'm convicted
Yes.
for misuse of the national flag, what are the penalties?
According to the current law, it is the 12 current settlements, which is approximately 240,000 Ugandan shillings. Yeah, but again, it would require, the proof, the evidence, and all that, which calls for evidence, which calls for the intention, which calls for the action that you did, which calls for maybe the utterances that you made about the national flag, that were they intended to ridicule the flag, were they intended to hold it in contempt? Yes, that is the qualifier.
No, but at Kunda, NTV News.